Hey there, how you doing? It's David Duford at buylifeinsuranceforburial.com, where I help people find quality life insurance. In today's video, we're talking about Gerber Life Insurance and reviewing their products designed for adults that are looking for some kind of burial or life insurance. And we're going to talk about rates and quote-unquote secrets, and we'll reveal them to you. So let's get started. So, agenda for today's topic at hand, we're going to talk about first myself as well as my company, just to get to know you, as well as talk about a brief description of Gerber Life Insurance. We're going to talk about what they offer and what product is best suited for each individual person, and then give you some alternatives to Gerber's burial life insurance product, and then give you some of my final thoughts on the overall program. So, a little bit about me. My name is David Duford. I am the owner of buylifeinsuranceforburial.com. Again, I help people with life insurance needs across the country that are looking at insurance possibly through companies like Gerber and others. I'm a licensed life insurance agent, have been since 2011. I've helped over 3,000 families with their life insurance needs. I'm a published author of the official guide to buying final expense life insurance. You can see that below. I also train and recruit agents nationwide to go into their own communities to help people like yourself. And I'm married with children, with my 4th child on the way. Wish us luck. All right, so a little bit about Gerber Life Insurance. I'm pretty sure you know who they are. They're a rather well-known company. They offer life insurance and burial insurance products to people of all ages, not just children, not just adults, everything in between. And most notable for the Gerber Foods logo that you see in its advertising. And again, I'm assuming you've got a pretty basic understanding of Gerber Life Insurance. That's why you're getting a product review, so I won't spend too much time describing them. But let's just jump into really what they do and what they have to offer so we can help you out the best. So Gerber really offers 3 particular types of life insurance products. First is term life insurance for adults. Second is guaranteed acceptance life insurance for adults. And the third is whole life insurance for adults. So what we're going to do is take a look at each. We'll actually take you to their website and walk through the application process, look through the fine print, and discuss the pros and cons of each. So first of all, we're going to start with the Gerber term life insurance. So the basic way to understand term insurance is that it is terminating life insurance. So what does that mean? It means it lasts up to a particular point in time before canceling. And what that means simply is that yes, you get coverage, but if you outlive the end point, you lose the coverage. So what I want to do is really, instead of you taking my word for it, I want to actually take you to their website and show you a collection of images and web pages where you can see this for yourself as long as analyzing their particular rates. Okay, so we're here at gerberlife.com/adult-life-insurance-term-life-insurance. Just put term life insurance Gerber into Google and you'll get there. Okay. So we're here on their webpage. Again, this is really just a walkthrough of how the product works. And we're just going to scroll through here. You can see that they have coverage options from $25,000 to $150,000. Premium is locked in for the policy's duration, available between 18 and 50 with no medical exam for up to $100,000 in coverage. And they've got different lengths of time in which term insurance lasts. And let's keep going here. Just going to read through this. It describes how term insurance works. Tells you what happens at the end of the term insurance, just so you understand. You can choose to end the policy agreement or renew your policy. So sometimes you can renew it, sometimes you can't. It just depends on the length of time and how old you are. So let's see here. Interesting, they've got even customer service complaints here. But let's go ahead and focus on actually reviewing to get a free quote. So what we're going to do here, if you'll just bear with me, I'm going to put in, since most people here are going to be in the 50 and older age, I'm going to 6-year-old male, non-smoker, and I'm going to put in a fake email. And then we're just going to look at some options. So here we have the length of time and the prices for coverage. So I'm going to take you through each of these. The 10-year term, you can see what we have here for the costs. And this is just assuming you can be approved. This is the 15-year term. and this is the 20-year term. And this is for a 60-year-old. We'll compare this to what you could get if you were to buy a plan outside of Gerber in a moment. Let's say we want to start with a 10-year term, $100,000 plan. So let's click Apply Now. Now, what this application process does is actually really neat. They do it all over the phone, or excuse me, all over the internet. You may have to do a phone interview. Sometimes they'll follow up with you. This information here, if you're wondering, is the MIB, Medical Information Bureau release. You can read through this on your own time. What it basically is doing is saying it's going to pull your medical information from the MIB, which is a membership organization that helps determine insurability. Standard practice with all insurance carriers. So what you do is you just fill this application out, and then here's the actual health questions for the term insurance product. So we see, of course, we see term insurance here. Below here we have a 5-year look back on felonies, driver's license suspended or revoked, or 2 years more of moving violations. 5-year look back on health consultation and the hospitalization. 5-year look back on alcohol or drug use issues. 10-year look backs on major health issues. And this is just existing coverage. Now, what this does, just so you understand, is that this particular plan is going to essentially just apply. You may get a higher price. Just because you answer yes to one of these questions may not necessarily mean you're not going to get coverage. But it's just a starting point. There's usually different rates available. Like what you were shown here is a particular rate. It may be higher priced. It comes back at a higher price. It just depends on Gerber's underwriting. I don't have that much information, but I can tell you that there is circumstances where you may answer yes, but be higher priced. It may decline you. Just depends on what the underwriters say. Benefits, exclusions, and limitations. This is important to understand. No medical exam is necessary in most cases. Coverage is dependent on answers to health questions, and a physical may be necessary for cause and for applicants age 51 or older who apply for more than $100,000. So what this is saying here is that if you're going to apply for $100,000 or more and you're over the age of 51 or older, you might have to do an exam. As we'll get into later, if you don't like the idea of being stuck with needles and peeing in a cup, you can actually get coverage for much more than $100,000 without an exam with many insurance companies. So that's the overview of Gerber's term life insurance product. As you can see, you have 10, 15, and 20-year options. You may have the ability for 30-year at certain ages. Most of the time it's going to be 10 through 20. And you can see what rates there are. Now keep that in mind. We're going to look at some rates for other companies momentarily. But I want you to be aware, bottom line, term insurance will only last for that period of time. The premiums remain the same, but you do have the capability, potentially, of outliving the coverage and not having the term insurance at all, or paying more than you don't necessarily have to pay. And we'll talk about that later. Okay, so let's talk about Gerber's life insurance's guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance. So this is their permanent product. So maybe you don't like a plan that would cancel. So maybe you want one that doesn't cancel at a later date. That's what this particular guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance plan does with the Gerber. The rates never increase and you can't be canceled due to age, but these plans do not provide first day full coverage based on your health, which means if something happens within the first 2 years, you're not fully protected. Only your money that you paid in plus interest is paid back to your beneficiary. So let's again take a look at the website so you can see this for yourself. Okay, so we're here, as you can see, the guaranteed life insurance page. Let's go ahead and just scroll through here and read this. Guaranteed life insurance plans help provide for costly final expenses. Your acceptance is guaranteed. No medical exams are required. No health history issues are an issue. You can get between $5,000 to $25,000 in coverage. It does have cash value. Scrolling down through here. Frequently asked questions. Guaranteed life insurance is available for adults between 50 and 80. $5,000 to $25,000 in coverage. And then let's click here because there's a little bit more we got to know about this company. So we're going to click on View All Guaranteed Life Insurance Questions. So we're going to look through here. Some of this we've already answered. There's what we want. See this right here? This is the This is the smoking gun, as they say. So we click here, and it says, what is a graded death benefit limitation? So I'll help read this through. The Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance Policy comes with a graded death benefit limitation. It applies to the first 2 years of coverage when the policy is issued. If death occurs within the first 2 policy years for any reason other than accident, all premiums plus 10% interest shall be paid to the beneficiary. If death is due to accidental causes within the first 2 years, the full death benefit shall be paid to the beneficiary. After the 2-year graded period, if the insured dies for any reason, the full face amount of the policy shall be paid to the beneficiary. If the insured dies by suicide within 2 years from the issue date, the only amount payable will be the premiums paid for the policy plus 10% less any debt against the policy. So what does this mean? Let me just spell it out to you. Like I said earlier, what this is saying that if you die from natural causes, if death occurs within the first years for any reason other than an accident, so that just means if it's not an accident, it's natural causes, all premiums plus 10% interest shall be paid to the beneficiary. So that means there is a limitation of coverage for 2 years if you buy one of these plans. So it doesn't matter if you're in good shape. It doesn't matter if you're in bad shape. If you apply for a Gerber graded death benefit limitation plan or a guaranteed life insurance plan, it's a 2-year waiting period product, no matter what. Okay, so let's go back here and run some quotes again for you. Again, I'm just going to show you a 60-year-old male with a fake email to get the quote. So this is what you're looking at for $10,000 in coverage, $63.89, and we'll compare that to some prices again momentarily. Now, Gerber also offers a whole life insurance plan that does not cancel at a later date, where the rates never increase and can't cancel due to age or health, and if approved, will provide first day full coverage based on health. So again, let's look at some permanent coverage options so you can see how their prices would compare. So we're looking at, again, the 60-year-old male non-smoker, $25,000 in coverage rates all the way up to $150,000. It's $131.50 a month. You can see the other premiums as well. So we'll just scroll through here like we have been talking about the plan. You can get $25,000 to $150,000 in coverage. No medical exam is necessary for adults up to age 50 and coverage up to $100,000. So if you go over $100,000, you may need to have an exam. Adults 18 to 70 can apply. And then let's just click on the free quote. Oh, we already did that. Let's go ahead and actually, yes, let's do the free quote. And then see if we can get some health questions. Usually this is the same series of health questions with these companies. So if you remember earlier, we talked about the term insurance plans. These are identical questions that they're asking here. Okay, so take a look at them. Same exclusions, limitations. Really, it's just they switch term with whole life. Of course, it's going to be higher price with whole than it is with term insurance. So now we have to ask the question, why would people buy certain Gerber life insurance products under certain circumstances? So let's describe who is each type of policy right for. So the person who buys a term insurance product needs to be price conscientious. Usually they buy that because they see the guaranteed or the whole life insurance products and they just balk at the price. And they feel like, well, I'll just substitute. Something's better than nothing. Let me get a term insurance product, at least so I can have some kind of coverage on the book. Maybe they want more than just the typical $10,000 plan or even $25,000 plan. They feel like they've got an obligation higher than that needs more coverage, so they feel the necessity to buy more term insurance because of that. Now, people buy guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance because they're just in really bad health. They're not going to qualify for the regular term or the regular whole life insurance product, and this is their last-ditch effort. And they just feel like, based on the fact they can't qualify for those other products, that this is better than nothing. Let's just apply for that. People buy or apply for the whole life insurance because they want permanent protection. They feel it's important to not outlive the coverage like with term insurance. They'll pay the higher price for that peace of mind. So now let's move on to alternatives to Gerber's life insurance products. So look, they're not the only life insurance product to offer coverage to seniors or anybody at any age. And it's always good to have a second opinion. If you've ever had any health issues and you've wondered if the opinion of the doctor is the only option available, you want to get a second opinion. The same idea or mentality applies to buying life insurance. Knowing your alternatives there's no negativity to it. It just gives you more options, and usually more options means a better deal. So buying permanent life insurance through a broker and independent agent, much less term insurance, we'll get to that momentarily, but buying permanent insurance, so that would be the whole life insurance or the guaranteed acceptance insurance. I believe it's best bought through a broker. I'm a broker, I'm an independent agent. I represent a variety of different companies, so I can shop to see who's going to give you the best price. So what I'm going to do here is just do a quick comparison for a 60-year-old male, non-smoker, and a female for that matter. So you can compare some prices to not just their whole life insurance product, but also their guaranteed acceptance plan, and just show you really how you really could save some money, assuming you could qualify for these plans and get more coverage for the kind of premium you're comfortable paying. So let me take you back over to these screens. I'm going to show you Gerber's prices, and then I'm going to show you my prices, and we can do a little comparison. So here we are on Gerber's life insurance page again. Again, I'm showing you the $10,000 plan for $63.89 a month. This is for a 60-year-old non-smoking male. Let's take a look at what a 60-year-old non-smoking male would cost for a simplified issue product that we could potentially get. So in our case, there are companies, as you can see here, from the upper 30s to the mid 40s. It may go a little higher than that, but again, compared to 63.89 versus maybe around a mid 40s, that's a potentially $240 a year savings. And in fact, if you were to get, say, around $13,000 in coverage, what you'll find is it's still less expensive than the $10,000. And it looks like you could probably get all the way up to $15,000 for a male non-smoker. Yeah, and potentially for the same price, get $5,000 more in coverage. That's really important because the prices for burials continue to go up. And why pay $10,000 when you could get $15,000 with a good company? So this comparison is meant to just draw the difference of price, but also to draw the difference in quality. 100% of the time we know that Gerber Life Insurance will make you wait 2 full years before you're fully protected for the guaranteed life insurance product. However, these products here may qualify you for first day full coverage. So even with one payment in, you're fully protected for the $15,000 if you end up getting the same price and want to pay the same price as a $10,000 guaranteed life insurance plan through Gerber that makes you wait 2 years. So hopefully the point here, ladies and gentlemen, is just to compare and contrast the difference in pricing and quality of coverage you may be able to get. Let's take a look real quick at a female with the same rate, 60-year-old female, and then let's take a look at a $10,000. That's $51.06 a month for a quote with Gerber Life, and that's a 2-year wait. And then if we look at a female here, 60-year-old non-smoking female, for a $15,000, it's almost the same thing. You're looking at somewhere between mid 40s to lower 50s. So again, in comparison, we're getting you almost $5,000 more in coverage with most of these companies for the same price and first day full coverage potential. Again, $10,000, low upper 20s, most likely mid 30s if you just keep the $10,000. Substantial savings and the potential for first day full coverage. So the takeaway here, ladies and gentlemen, is you can see there's a big value proposition difference when you get something like this versus the other options. So what about the whole life insurance? Again, we're looking at a 60-year-old male. For a whole life insurance plan, it's $250 a month. Maybe you want a lot more coverage and you want permanent coverage and you're not afraid of paying a price at that premium. How does this compare to other options? So what I'm going to show you is what's called a guaranteed universal life plan. It is very similar to a whole life insurance plan. It's permanent coverage as long as you continue to pay the premium. You can never be canceled due to age or health, and it gives you that permanent protection from the first day. So it's comparable to what Gerber's whole life insurance plan offers. But let's just look at what you could get for a $50,000 plan and compare. So check this out, guys. So this is for a male 60-year-old, $50,000. Literally, you have the potential, if you qualify, to get as low as $101.32 a month for a $50,000 permanent, no-lapse guaranteed universal life plan through Sagicor. If you're rated up, it may be $126, it may be $188, but it's substantially less than this $250 a month premium. Sagicor is a great company. I've got other ones too, but this is just to give you an example of the amazing price difference. So here we're looking at a female to compare, and for a $50,000 plan, 6-year-old female non-smoker, it's $150.50 with Gerber's whole life insurance product. And for a female, you're looking at potentially a price as low as $86.62 for $50,000 in a guaranteed universal life plan. And yes, it may be rated up to 105 or 148, but it's still less expensive. And if you're rated up here with Sagicor, it's most likely that you'll be rated up with the Gerber Life product too. And the other thing too is that if you go higher than this with these plans, you don't. Let's say you want more than 100,000, you don't have to do an examination in most circumstances, up to about 250,000, maybe a little bit more. So yeah, there's some substantial advantages by using another company besides Gerber. So let's take a look at also term insurance products. We know and saw some term. Let's take a look at some term life insurance comparison. Same deal. We'll just look at a $50,000 plan for a 60-year-old male and female and compare that to Gerber's, and then decide on, what's the better deal. So let's take a look. So here I've got a $50,000 $62 a month premium for $50,000 coverage for a 60-year-old non-smoking male for a 10-year term. So if we compare a 10-year term 60-year-old non-smoking male for $50,000, you literally have the ability to pay as low as $24 a month. Again, that's compared to $62 a month for the same 10-year length of time. And yeah, you may be rated up, and it may be a little higher, but it's still substantially less expensive. Okay, so now we're looking at a 15-year term for $50,000 of coverage. You're looking at $79.70 a month for a male 60-year-old non-smoker. And if we look at a male 15-year term, substantially less potentially. Lower 30s even to mid 50s, which again, big difference from almost 80 a month. And for a 20-year term, $50,000 in coverage, we're looking at $82 a month potentially for a 60-year-old male non-smoker. And in comparison, we're looking at potentially still low 40s to mid 70s, substantially less expensive than $82 a month. So let's look at the ladies here. For $50,000 in 10-year term, 60-year-old non-smoker is $42 even. For a 10-year term, 60 years old, female, $50,000 in coverage, it could be as low as $18 a month and change. Maybe more like upper 20s to mid 30s. Again, big difference. A 15-year term, $50,000 is $48.09. A 15-year term for a female, $25.77 as low as. Could be in the upper or mid 30s. For a 20-year term with Gerber Life female, 60-year-old non-smoker, $56 a month. And if you shop through a broker, could be as low as $29.49 a month, up to the mid 40s potentially. So as we wrap this up here, the important point to point out is I can't promise any of the premiums and coverage options I showed you can qualify for. I have to always say this just as a primer, because some people think, because it shows it, it must be it. No, it's not the case. I have to explain to people that these are just potentials for coverage. It all comes down to your unique health situation, and that should make sense to you, right? The underwriters have to look at your health, your age, whether or not you smoke, and other variables to determine ultimately what they want to price your coverage at. These are just premiums, and your unique scenario just depends on your unique scenario. But the point I'm showing you these premiums is to compare and contrast the fact that by looking at other options, you may have the high potential of getting a better rate or better coverage or just an overall better deal. That's why I'm a big believer in shopping with a broker. You want to get the best price and coverage, whereas if you stick with one company, sure, it's maybe a good company, but it may not be the best deal for you. So always investigate your second options and get those second opinions. And if that's something you're interested in doing and applying for, the process is very simple. You got to find an agent in most circumstances if you like the idea of shopping for the best overall deal. And that's why I nominate myself. In all seriousness, I'm an insurance agent. I help people across the country. And I do this on a daily basis. I shop for people to get them the best price and coverage. And let's say you and I work together. Our next step would be for me to listen to your goals and drop a quote that I think you may qualify for. And if you accept that quote and you like the idea of it, we'll apply over the phone or via the internet. Very little reason to meet personally nowadays. And then usually after several weeks or days, depending on the kind of product that we get, your coverage is either approved or declined. I will tell you either way. If it's approved, great. You'll get your policy several weeks in the mail, and then that's it. If it's declined, then we'll just look at some plan Bs or Cs. There's always other options in most cases to pursue if the first option doesn't work. So what's the next steps? If you're interested in applying for some kind of life insurance and you want to see what your other options are besides the Gerber Life Insurance, here's what you need to do. Go to buylifeinsuranceforburial.com and request a free quote. That way you can see and compare what your options are. Or you can call me at 888-626-0439 and speak with me live. I'll be happy to give you a free quote in about 5 to 10 minutes tops, and you can decide how you want to proceed from there. Please leave a voicemail if you don't reach me. I am pretty busy talking to people all day. And last but not least, leave a comment and make sure you subscribe and like this video if you haven't already. I do lots of content like this to help people out like you. My name is Dave Duford at buylifeinsuranceforburial.com. Thank you so much for watching.